GOODMOVE as something that had a lot of misinformation online, and people were against it and protesting it. And sometimes they're not having the right facts. So how do you go about it and making sure that everybody in Brussels, the different communes, the people who live here, are informed with the actual facts and not the misinformation they see online? Because sometimes people, I saw online that they thought that their business would go down because the suppliers couldn't park there or something like that, but that is not the case. I think GOODMOVE actually improves the way of living. But how do you go about to provide that information to the people?
I think it's a challenge for all politics all over the world for the moment, how to make sure that we communicate well with the population, that we connect well, that we have good information. So it is also a challenge for mobility. So GOODMOVE is the mobility plan for the 10 years for Brussels. So in this plan, we have a lot of actions about getting more public transport, getting more logistics by the water or by bike. So it is a complex plan. And one of the elements in the plan is to have fewer transit traffic in the communes. And to do so, you need circulation schemes. And so it means that everybody can still get into certain neighborhoods, but it is not
Is it more a controlled flow of...
Yes, so that you're going to canalize the traffic on the main axis. Yep. And so if you want to visit somebody, you need to go to a shop, it is still possible, but it is de-encouraged to just to escape one red light, to take a small road, and then you have traffic everywhere. So it is circulation measurements in order to go against all the Wazes and the Google Maps of these times, which are a great help to make sure that you can get there, but it's not interesting to get through. And so we've seen, for example, in the city center where we've introduced this plan, that we have almost 30% lesser traffic because of the transit traffic is cut off and is on the main axis, which creates conditions for walking and cycling and creates good conditions, and the shops are doing well. So that was a really difficult moment, like any change in mobility. Every time you implement something new, because we had it now, it's with GOODMOVE is linked to this particular measurement, but driving 30 an hour was also very. There was also a lot of people discussion. Yes, the shops will close down, nobody will come. So every time we implement a new measurement, these are arguments that come. And for me, it is always important to listen to the arguments, because if a shop owner is afraid that their shop will close down, you need to take it serious. It is it's their business, especially Brussels. We have some big companies, of course, but the power of Brussels is all those entrepreneurs, the small entrepreneurs starting things up.
And local shops and
stuff. And so supporting them for me is also important, because they're the real tissue of our city, but even of our country, because 20% of the richness of Belgium is created in Brussels, although we only have 10% of the population. So we do create richness, and so we need to listen to that. We cannot say, well, in 6 months this will be over. No, you have to take it seriously, but you have to inform them and saying, look at this example, look at that example, and it has actually improved. So we have other examples also in Brussels where after measurements have been taken, we see an improvement. And that's a good thing now that we have the example of the city center, the Pentagon, we've installed it. We can say, try to book a restaurant on a Tuesday evening. And it's difficult. So it means business are going well. And so the data are showing it's going well, not excluded that one or two still are having problems, or there's some problems, but the majority are actually booming and doing well. And I think that's an important message. So it is communicating on the street. So it's just popping in the shops, talking to people. It is really being present. That is the key element. But we've seen it, because your question was how to counteract fake news and misinformation. And we've also seen during COVID for vaccination and health issues how difficult it was, much more in Brussels and the rest of the country, to communicate with the population. Something that we really have difficulty in doing. If you go, for example, to Flanders, if you want to reach population and you are at the news of VTM and VRT, you have 70% of population or something like that. We do not have that in Brussels. There's a lot of informal communication systems. People depend on very different media.
Don't you have neighborhoods organizations, maybe?
We do have them, but it's not, you cannot just poof, we send out a message and it reaches everybody. It is very, very complex, and we need to learn about it. And I think COVID was really an important message in saying we often think we've communicated to the population, and then we realized we haven't done so. And the same with GOODMOVE. The moment we implemented it in, for example, Kuregem, which is one of the neighborhoods where it was in several neighborhoods that we implemented it. And we thought we had done a really good campaign about participation, communication. We had evening sessions online, real life. We went to the market. We went door to door. So we really went to the people.
Yeah.
But still, the moment we implemented, we noticed most of the people really didn't get the information. And so that's a strong lesson in being more and more creative in how to do so, taking time to do so, looking for new methods. And this was now a mobility. We had it with COVID. It's a challenge in every topic. It's how to make sure that city of 1.2 billion people with so many communities, so many languages, so many origins, many people moving, because some neighborhoods people move every 2 years. So how do you communicate? How do you tackle that? That's a constant challenge, also in mobility.
Yeah, but now GOODMOVE has been around for a year, and the numbers are pretty good. You know, I had Brandt on the podcast. He explained it. How come there's still some people that are not pro GOODMOVE, even though the results are pretty positive?
Because, well, some people, the results are positive, but it depends on what you give importance to. For me, the importance of having nice neighborhoods to shop, to visit, to walk, to live in, for me, that's important. That's my political goal. I want to have not car-free neighborhoods, but car-low neighborhoods where people have fewer noise, where there's fewer stress, fewer accidents, better air quality. So these are, for me, important goals, and we've reached them. But if your goal is, I want to have as many options as a car driver to get around, well, then it is another parameter. And so
I see.
It is, some people are against it because, well, we still have traffic jams, but it's, for the moment, like every traffic jam is because of GOODMOVE. So no, we have traffic jams before. They're actually slightly less, but it goes against the intuition of people. And that's also because during COVID, there was practically no traffic jams. It was like Brussels was all quiet, it was nice, and it was terrible COVID, but for cars, it was suddenly we discovered our city without the cars. Like, okay,
we noticed
this
as
is
well
what can happen if we really tackle car use in Brussels. And so this is becoming the reference. So then after COVID, traffic jams came back, and it's like they were never there before. And I think that's an important element in explaining why some people are really frustrated, because they think that it's all because of GOODMOVE. And I think we show it in the data. We say, no, look at the data from today, 23, 24, and we compare it with 18, 19. These are, but it is a rational debate for something that is what people are feeling. And also changing things is always difficult.
Exactly.
And if you're changing things in public space, it is really close to people. It's in their street, it's in their neighborhood, it's their daily habits that needs to be tackled. So
that's tough.
It takes time, but I'm convinced that after a while, it slows down. You were surprised I said the City 30 was controversial.
Yeah.
Because, and it's not controversial anymore, it's true. It was 3 years ago, but at the moment it's really controversial. And so you need to take time for some things to
And it becomes a
adapt.
habit after a while as well, right? Do you have any other initiatives or projects like the City 30 or the GOODMOVE coming up? Or
So we have 50 actions in our big mobility plan, which is the GOODMOVE plan. So one of those was reducing the speed limit, offering more public transport. That's really important. So we increased public transport in Brussels with 15% this last 5 years. And we want to add another 12% to it, because we really want people to use. We're very proud of public transport in Brussels. We want people to use it. We want it to be comfortable. So that's a really important one. Investing in cycling. Brussels is not seen as a cycling city, although the potential is there, and it is about infrastructure. We know that if we know that those people who might want to cycle and don't do it, if you ask why, it's the safety and the feeling of safety, and so infrastructure is crucial to do so. So we've put in place 60 kilometers of new bicycle lanes, but we need to continue that, and we need to really have this network of
And there's concrete
connected
plans for that as well?
Yes, we have plans. We are continue to doing so. It's always, like you said, fighting with the communes, but we need to continue. Also walking. Since last year, we know that the most popular way to get around is by foot. So within Brussels, not if you come from Kortrijk.
That's already
Brussels.
a good sign that the city is becoming more and more livable and for pedestrians.
Yeah, but we still need to invest it because on inclusive, if you walk around with a buggy, if you with children or if you are in a wheelchair, the city is really, really not well organized. So we still need to implement on a good walkability of our city. So we're renovating the pavements, which is not the most sexy or popular thing, but for me it's crucial.
It's part of the whole.
It's crucial thing. If you want a network. So we've renovated 5 kilometers. The renovation plan. We're making boulevards. So we have identified access through the city where we want people to walk, so that we connect parks with nice car-free zones, and so to make sure that you have those natural ways to get around in the city for people walking, and so to gently insist people on walking more and further distances. So there's several plans also for transporting goods, because a lot of the traffic is delivery. People
use a lot of cargo bikes in Kortrijk, actually.
Yes, we have this. So it's a lot of people buy online, which is easy and it's quick and it's helpful, but it creates a lot of traffic of those vans driving through. So we also have this project with cargo bikes. So we have really invested in a long project on making sure that companies shift to cargo delivery, and it is a real success. We have about 70 companies who changed at least a part of their transport to cargo bikes. They can test it, they can get little fundings to buy the equipment, and so there's a real shift going on. Also by the water, we have a canal in Brussels, but it can be used better. So we're working on how can, for example, construction sites, we have a lot of waste that needs to get away. How can we do it by the water, reuse it in Brussels, keep it local? So all those projects are coming on to make sure that we make this modal shift and make sure that in that way we create space, and that's crucial. Also having plans on what to do with the space. So on one hand you want to create space, but planting trees, for example, it sounds easy, but it's so necessary in Brussels. So we have this tree planting program, especially in the most dense areas. Next to the canal, there's the most dense areas where a lot of people live on small places. So making sure that we're going there with a priority to create green spaces, to take some concrete out, put some trees in, and to make sure that we do continue to change the city. So yes, we have a lot of plans in the pipeline. It's not finished yet.
Well, you seem to know what to do, so that's a good thing.